I have never touched the paper in 20 years, but I still feel its grain against my fingertips every time I close my eyes. It was a standard sheet of cream-colored stationery, the kind my mother kept in a velvet-lined drawer, smelling faintly of cedar and old stamps. I remember how the ink from my fountain pen bled slightly into the fibers, softening the edges of the capital letters, as if the words themselves were trying to dissolve. I wrote it at the small kitchen table in my first apartment, the one where the refrigerator hummed a low, mournful C-sharp all night until the sun began to pale the curtains. I thought I was explaining myself, solving a problem that could be balanced with the right words. I didn't know I was writing a map of a place I would never return to. Now, in the quiet of the house, I still recite those lines in the dark, keeping a promise to a version of myself that no longer exists. We lived above a bakery then, where the air always smelled of burnt sugar and missed chances, and the sound of the world rising early seeped through the floorboards. In the letter, I described the way the light struck the brick wall across the alley at 4 in the afternoon, an unforgiving orange that made everything look briefly aflame before it cooled. I wrote about the silence between us, how it had grown heavy enough to feel like a third person at the table. I told you I saw the suitcases in the hallway, not with fear, but with a tired kind of hope. I remember writing the phrase, "the cruelty of our kindness," and staring at it, wondering if you would understand that sometimes staying does more damage than leaving. I didn't send the letter because I realized it wasn't a bridge, it was a ghost, and you were already carrying enough of those. The third paragraph has always been the hardest to hold steady in my mind. It's the one where I stopped apologizing. I can still see the jagged loops of my handwriting as I admitted that I loved the version of you I invented more than the person standing in front of me. I wrote about the rainy Tuesday when you dropped the ceramic pitcher we bought in Vermont, and we both watched it shatter without moving to help. That, I realized, was the real ending. Not the movers, not the papers, just that moment of shared indifference. I memorized that part of the letter because it reminds me that honesty doesn't always feel like relief. Sometimes it just feels like cold air rushing into a room after the windows are gone. Time doesn't heal anything. It just rearranges the furniture until you stop tripping over the past. I am 62 now, with the same slight tremor in my hands my father had when he folded the Sunday paper. My life is good, quiet, full in a way I couldn't imagine back then. I tend the hydrangeas, read biographies of long dead men, and listen to the wind move through the oaks. But the letter is still here, tucked into my breath. I wonder if you have one too, a message written in your head while watching me sleep, or while standing in a grocery line holding the wrong brand of coffee. We are all archives of unsent words, libraries of things we were too afraid to say when they might have mattered. Tonight, the kitchen light is the same warm amber it was when I folded that paper and decided it would never leave my hands. I can almost see the creases in the air as I unfold it again. The final line is simple. I hope you find a world that doesn't require you to be anything other than what you are. By never sending it, I let that wish stay pure. It wasn't misread, ignored, or thrown away. It became part of me instead. I don't need to send it anymore. The person it was written for is gone, and the person who wrote it has learned how to live with the silence. I turn off the light and let the house go dark.